on the Lonson 3a6000 CPU. Now install the install Fantasy 2 GPU. So if you want to install the aosc system OS, you cannot directly boot up from the BIOS and the UEFI. You have to manually go to the UEFI shell. So type fs0 semicolon to go to the USB where the OS is located, so that you go to the EFI folder, and under the EFI folder there are, see, subfolder, but so that you go inside. So else you see the rating a little bit longer. Yeah, but longer arc 64, so that you can go to the aosc group interface for installation of the OS. So that's the problem when you have this when you're going to install the aosc system with the Fantasy 2, so that you couldn't go in directly by default for the ISO image, but you need to manually go to the UEFI shell, otherwise you cannot go into this interface. So now, okay, but one thing is that when you go inside with the Fantasy 2 GPU, will just rotate and rotate, so that you need to change and shift by pressing Control Alternative plus F2 to switch to the other virtual interface, virtual terminal, and shift back to the interface where the installation page is located. So going back here successfully, so that you click install, because it's the livekit, so that you need to download the whole OS. Choose desktop, and then go to Alibaba, the cloud, that server, to download it and install it where your hard disk you want. So here is the girl way. I want to install this OS into the girl way. So continue, and then you will download the OS. So also you need to create the, are you sure you want to install, so that you need to create the ext4 format and FAT32 format in order to be installed for the OS. So you choose the partition where it is the ext4. That's okay. So I have already chosen, and type your name, password, and host name, and then continue, and then choose the language and area. So that's like this. And choose the simplify the language, and the swap file you can just choose automatically, so that you will see the information about the swap file is 32 gig. So proceed, and you will download the OS and get installed. So I'll just skip it faster. So you will see the GPU is LLVM pipe, so it's not the InnoSilicon Fantasy 2. It cannot detect the GPU, but at least I could go inside and you can see the GPU. I plugged it in the HDMI, but here no HDMI, no sound, because I plugged the HDMI to the monitor from the GPU. So that's because no driver. But at least now I can go in even no driver. But some kind of operation system, some OS, you cannot even go in with the Linux kernel. If there is no driver, you even cannot go in. 没有驱动的时候，有些 OS 不能进去，现在可以进来，但是没有这个驱动，已经被不能进来。好 ，and then installer, don't choose the installer. Installer also cannot go in. Just livekit, that file can go into the OS, but you need to self manually to go in by manually typing the something, the long cut, put long cut EFI, so that you can put it inside the UEFI shell. So this is the file. The livekit here you can download is the latest one. I just choose the livekit, but the file is not that file I installed. I installed the older version. So older version you can choose in here on Baidu, typing this kind of statement, and you can go into download the livekit. This is workable for me, but you can choose maybe livekit for newer version. So you can see different. The newer version one is the older version. Older version I installed successfully. So and then the EFI shell, there is also information for saying that you cannot go to the page and you need to use the self UEFI shell by yourself. So, and I tried to install the QQ driver, QQ InnoSilicon, and then GPU, CPU Chinese CPU group provided by them, but failed. It just installed, but you cannot see it is successfully installed. So you can see it, but it cannot. And then the customer service also said that it just can match for the specific kernel only. So this kernel cannot install the Fantasy 2 driver on this aosc OS.